What's good with y'all? It's AlmightyxDen, and I got some excellent news for y'all. Now y'all know it's plug season for a reason, and I'm telling y'all that to say this. I already have my Xbox Series X pre-ordered, so I will have early gameplay of NBA 2K21 for y'all. I'll be one of the first people in the entire world playing NBA 2K21, and that's the real deal. Now as you can see here, it comes out first on November 10th, Xbox Series X and S. 2 days before PS5. So we in there, Xbox gang. Let's get it. Now let's get to the dark side of things. Let me be honest with y'all. Let me give y'all the real spill about part of the reason why I haven't been playing NBA 2K21 current gen as much. Because I have had some time to play it, but there's a big problem I have with the game right now, you know. Now keep this in mind. I am not bashing the game because I do like the game to a certain extent, but I just feel like they do the community and the players wrong on so many ways, especially with all the updates and whatnot. You feel what I'm saying? Now let me explain to y'all what I mean by that. Understand one thing about 2K. There are always going to be people complaining about this game in some way, some fashion or another. 2K. There's going to be always somebody that has a problem with certain builds. You feel what I'm saying? But even in the prelude, in the demo when I played the game, I noticed fades were kind of strong. They were kind of overpowered. Now with that being said, I knew at that point that I was going to make a build that could shoot fades. You feel me? So I was like, okay, I'm going to make a shot creator, playmaker shot creator. I made a playmaker shot creator last year. This is not new to me. I have been making playmaker shot creators. I have been making shot creator builds since they became a thing outside of 2K17 when I had a sharpshooter build because it was most important to get my shooting attributes up. But nowadays, playmaking shot creators are basically sharpshooters as well as playmakers. You feel what I'm saying? Back to the point at hand. So I made that build to shoot fades, right? Cool. I have a 93 mid-range, I believe, and a 93 pointer. There is nothing wrong with me hitting fades as a playmaking shot creator with a 3-pointer and a mid-range that high. Now, if you are have an 83, a 75 3, a lower 3-pointer or a lower mid-range and you're hitting fades, that is a problem. That needs to be nerfed. But if you have very high attributes in the 90s or 90 plus and you have Hall of Fame badges and you are a shot creator, you should be hitting fades if you are open. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you gotta hit limitless range fades from half court, but you know, if you hit a fade around a 3-point line and that's your build, shouldn't nothing be wrong with that. Shouldn't nobody really be complaining about that if your build has the ability to do it. It's only a problem if your build should not be doing it, at least in my opinion, right? Now I'm still getting to my main point, so follow me, you know, stick with me right here, right? Now when the game first came out, a lot of players couldn't shoot, you know? So what did they go do? If they can't shoot, they got a build they don't think they can shoot. What did they go do? They go make a build they can't shoot. They go make a build they can hit fades. Okay, but if players are complaining about certain build and 2K nerfs a certain attribute or certain ability related to your build, then that's doing wrong by you. You know what I'm saying? Think about this. A lot of players, and myself included, you spend money and you make different builds. You know, you don't want to have to keep making different builds because you feel like your build is nerfed. Now, by any means, I'm not saying playmaking shot creators are nerfed because they are still very good builds, one of the best builds in the game, might I add, regardless if they nerf fades or not. But what I am saying is you can't keep updating the game and taking away certain abilities from certain builds because people make these builds because they want to do these certain things and then they nerf those things and those builds can't do that anymore. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm going to give y'all a prime example. But before that, I'm going to show y'all this example of this poll Mike Wang, NBA 2K Dev, posted on Twitter questioning the community if fades were good now. Now, it's fairly even between good and OP. I put good just because I hadn't even played it after the update, but still more people believed it to be OP. But like I said, keep in mind, if more players are playmaking shot creators, more players have the ability to play that way, so you may feel that way. But if it's still OP with lower attributed players for the mid-range and 3-pointer, nerf it more for those players. That's all I'm saying. That's fair. You feel what I'm saying? But that's not even my main point. Let me show y'all this. So there was a patch the other day, patch 2, and I thought it was one of the most craziest patches I've ever seen in my life, to be honest, because of one thing in particular that they changed that's gonna change the entire game and change how people create builds. Now you mean to tell me that after I spent hours creating a build, because you want to get a build that gets certain dribble moves, you want to get a build that triggers certain speed boosts, they lowered the pro dribble move tier to 80 overall, which means players, lockdowns, and lots of other builds will get pro dribble moves at 80 overall. And if it was like that when the game first came out, that would have changed the dynamic of the game completely, because a lot of people would have made other builds because they can unlock those dribble moves at a lower overall, which is 80, which really means if you have a 76 ball control, you get pro dribble moves if you get to 99. Think about that. 76 is fairly low. So essentially every build in the game that's not a playmaking shot creator, or that doesn't have high dribble moves, or that's a close around that 80 range, is getting a boost to their build. You know what I'm saying? And that's only a problem because, like I said, people had already made builds and paid to create these players. And if you're going to change that, you know what I'm saying, at least the players need the opportunity to be able to maybe consider or go back and change their build to something else without having to grind all the way back up again. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe if that was an option when the game first came out, more people probably would have picked it. But now you telling me that, okay, you're giving a boost to all these other builds. They're getting a boost for almost no reason. Trust me, I know y'all seen the Curry slide dribble move. I remember in one of my first early Tools games, like my second Tools game that I played, I went to the Tools court and I played with a random center, right? And I was getting killed with the screens. I'm talking about murdered on the screens, and I didn't know what move this dude was doing. I just know he was doing it behind the back, and I was like, I cannot guard this guy like right now. My center's not helping me. He keeps spamming this behind the back move. At that point in time, I didn't know it was called the Curry slide. But he was abusing it and just hitting threes. And my center was just sitting in the paint because he thought nobody could shoot. And I was like, ever since that day, I haven't went back to the Tools court yet. I promise you I haven't. I have not went back to the Tools court ever since that day, because that was something that I was just like, man, that's ridiculous. Now, like I said, if I play with somebody I know, we can hedge him better. But that move and the screens on there are deadly. Then I seen this. Fixed a minor graphical issue when the tall scrunch socks and the compression pants were used together. You mean to tell me you fixing graphical issues that got something to do with socks? And I'm over here getting killed by these screens with pick dodger on? Understand something. If you fix the screens and make them more realistic to where you don't get put in a weird animation or you don't get sucked into them, players can better defend fades anyways. The problem isn't necessarily the fades themselves. The problem is players have a hard time defending players that can shoot them. That was the problem. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, if I get a good screen and I shoot a fade, I can just hit turbo. I got the speed, run all the way to the end, fade, boom, I'm open. I should hit it as long as I time my shot well. That's the biggest problem right now, in my opinion. The screens are deadly on here. The brick wall it sucks you into such an animation. They need to have something that can combat that. And it shouldn't be animation based. But what do they go and do, right? They got deadly screens, and what do they go and do that's probably gonna make it worse? That a lot of 2K players actually want it though, no cap. Now I'm a playmaking shot creator, so I can be happy that Mike Wang and NBA 2K buffed ankle breakers. But do y'all know, in my opinion, I know a lot of people are fans and they like to catch highlight plays. But, I mean, as a defender, do you know how annoying it is to just get randomly thrown in an ankle breaker animation just because somebody has the badge and there's pretty much no way to combat that unless maybe you do the charge or the pick method where you just keep setting charges so you don't fall or break down? You want to combine that with those deadly screens, and when they get in takeover, it's gonna be over for you guys. I don't know if some of y'all remember NBA 2K17 where they would just keep dropping you. I don't think there's nothing fun about getting dropped like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'd have no problem if my ankles got broke if I went one way on my controller and my opponent went the other way on his controller and he broke my ankles. Cause like, okay, I made a mistake. He caught me lacking. Before this be randomly happening, combined with these screens, and then y'all complaining about people complaining about fades, be careful what you wish for out here, man, because it can get real ugly real quick. But all I'm really getting at is that I know a lot of y'all put money and time in these builds, and it's not cool for them to just keep changing them, keep nerfing them, keep buffing them, and keep taking away things from y'all that y'all worked for and that y'all wanted to play. But y'all know anyways, I'm gonna be on 2K21 Next Gen like I said. But y'all be sure to like the video, subscribe. Until next time, man. Densky out.